So, Paul, as you know, on this season of the podcast, I wanted to give each of my guests some ownership over their own episode, and I asked you to create a presentation that has something to do with the Party Room Film Festival.
Mhm.
Any year could be about the films, could be about directors, could be about whatever you want, as long as it has to do with the film festival. Uh, what is your
Yeah.
presentation today?
All right. So this is my presentation. So I figured I'd keep it pretty calm and just not make any big claims. I just wanted to, there were some
Mhm.
specific like facts about Party Room 5 that I thought would be fun to bring to everyone's attention and just see
Okay.
what people think. So here we are in this last one. You remember this, right?
Yeah, it was only a few months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, so here we are with our awards. So
It's a great picture of us.
it is. Yeah, it is a good one. Super fun. I always like these from like every year when we do these. They always end up in my photo album. But anyway, I think it was totally rigged this year. And so again, I'm not making any claims. I'm just gonna put out some evidence here, and I'm not really gonna talk about anybody specifically. But we'll just go over a few things. So number one, technology.
Technology.
And you probably saw this coming. The means we use for casting votes
Mhm.
is on our phones, right? And I've been, saying it for years how there's a lot of problems with that, right?
Mhm.
I know some people love it, but there's obvious problems that you're probably already thinking of hundreds. And I've always said like simple is better. I'm a proponent of paper.
Yeah.
Paper voting is unbreakable. It's unhackable. Some of the problems that we had this year, I just think totally would have gone away if we just go back to the paper ballots. I mean, I've been saying it for several years now.
Yeah.
That we need to switch back to paper.
Yeah. Truth be told,
I mean, I say back. We need to switch to paper.
Yeah. Truth be told, everybody, he has been saying this for the past, like, as long as the podcast has been going. I've just edited it out because, yeah, I am the media silencing him. So, I'm sorry, but this is your time. This is your time to say what you want to say.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was relieved when you said like we're actually going to get a platform, to present something, and I'm hoping that the editing will be more favorable. But so, did you know, Jacob, that these guys, council?
Yes.
Did you know that 2 out of 3 council members prefer some form of paper voting?
Is that right?
2 out of 3. That's a majority.
That is a majority.
Does this look familiar?
That says Jotform. That's the app that we use.
That's right. And if you weren't convinced, here it is, being sent on the night of the festival by someone.
Yeah, it's being sent. It looks like it's being sent by Andrew.
Yeah, well, if that's what you see. Have you used this app before for anything else?
I have not, actually. I have only used this app when it comes to the Party Room Film Festival.
Yeah. So I looked into it a little bit. So this is the CEO.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yep.
Looks like a nice guy, right?
A Tekken tank.
Yep. So nice guy. Everything is good, of course, as you'd expect. He's a fine guy, but as always with these tech companies, what you really have to look at is the investors. So I did a little digging and just pretty quickly found the top investor. You can see here in the graph.
Well, it looks like
research.
Perkins, Sigler Cinematography.
No, just see the arrow, like the
Poetry?
biggest. I'm talking about the main investor.
The main one. Oh, that says the real Andrew K.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So anyway, number 2, while we're talking about this kind of stuff, identification.
Hmm.
Now tell me, Jacob,
Yes,
you were at the film festival this year.
I was.
Did you ever once have to pull out your identification?
I can't say that I did, actually.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how many things require identification in this country?
A lot of things.
Yeah, I have several of them listed here, and yet we can still vote for the PRFF Golden Dewey winner with no form of ID.
Huh.
So what I'd like to see next year is identification, driver's license or something. I want to see fingerprint detection.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see eye scanners just to be sure that the guys voting are, we want to know who all is actually voting in this thing. There's no security. And then finally, we should probably do some blood DNA testing. Quick blood draw from everybody before we cast the final votes there.
Mm-hmm.
Just double check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 3. Illegal audience attendees.
Okay.
This has been a problem for years, Party Room.
Mm-hmm.
Years, but it's never affected us so much as it did this year. For example, like, here's a shot from our time together.
Mm-hmm.
Anything look weird to you in this picture?
As I'm looking around, I can't. It does look like Riley is dropping Lael in the background. It looks like Lael is 3 seconds away from a concussion.
It does actually look like she's leaning, something's going on there, but not what I'm talking about. Anything else?
I can't see what might be weird.
Okay. Let me zoom in. Okay.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
Interesting. Who is Aaron talking to back there?
Good question. Very good question. Let me zoom in a little further for you.
Wait a second. Those are 2 political candidates from a recent election, I believe.
That's what someone would want you to believe, Jacob, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Those are 2 actors from a recent film. Let me zoom in a little more just to see if we can notice anything else. Hang on. Okay. So, in conclusion, well, I don't think I even need to say anything. It's clear from what I've presented that something needs to change. Okay. And again, I'm not going to say that we should take someone's Golden Dewey away, but all I want for the listeners, your great listeners, to consider is, who was second this year? And maybe, like, should that person actually have the Dewey? So again, just throwing out information, throwing out facts, and I'll let the your audience can decide what needs to happen going forward. But there's a lot of change that I think could improve some things.
Amazing. Thank you.
So do you think, like, that maybe we should give the Dewey to the second place person from this past year? Or at least put, like, an asterisk next to the...
I guess we're at the Q&A portion of your presentation now.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on, like, who all should be available to vote? I know you say that we need to make sure we're properly identifying eligible voters. Do you think that, like, what are your thoughts on the wives voting? Like, should this just be a festival for the guys? I've heard talk about, like, well, a wife vote is just an extra vote for you or for myself. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I really am in favor of the wife vote for sure. I do have the concern that it encourages polygamy. I mean, where does it end? Like, if you really want to get the votes.
I mean, I will. I wasn't trying to go here, but I think that the Golden Dewey should go to the second place person. But I think that you shouldn't have gotten second place. I think I got snubbed out of second place.
Well, maybe you'll be able to do your own presentation sometime, Jacob. Tell us why.
You cornered the wife vote by having Lael featured in your film. I think if it was a nerd-only vote, I think Unstoppable Force gets second.
Yeah, interesting take there. What do you think about kid votes? Like once the kids are old enough?
Oh,
I guess we can cross that bridge when we come to it.
That's really interesting.
We got a bit of time.
When they're 18, right?
Perfect.
When they're 18, perfect. They can vote.
That's the best. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
And by that point, we will have these voting statutes and restrictions in place. Then they will.
I would hope so. By that,
then they will be a part of a just system, at least.
Mm-hmm. All I'm calling for is simplicity in the voting system, and then complexity in the identification system, and then policing in the attendance.
I know you want to switch to paper votes, but didn't I can't remember what election it was, but hanging chads were a big issue at one point. How do we know that hanging chads won't affect us within party room?
Do you want to define that term?
So hanging
listeners?
Yeah. So hanging chads was basically you would like hole punch your vote or whatever, but there was some where the hole punch like didn't go all the way through, and so they were just like hanging there, and they would like not get counted as a vote, and it led to a lot of conspiracy and a lot of derision.
Oh yeah, well, hole punching is a terrible idea. We'll do the fill in the circles or squares. We better go rectangles.
The viewers have heard it. It is up to them if they want to respond to this. It is completely up to y'all.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. I want the people to decide. Just the facts have got to get out there. Like, we have to have the media to be able to get these important topics to light.